I noticed that I was having a lot more fun, and I knew it wasn't just because I was trying new art supplies. Hello, people of the internet. 'Tis I, Bailey. As many people do in the new year, I made a mental list of all my goals and dreams and aspirations, and like many people who make goals, I fully intended to keep to them. But, it might not surprise you to hear that, things are changing. However, not necessarily in a bad way. But before I get into all that mess, I should probably talk about the art, because if I don't now, I won't ever. I am painting on my brand new Be Creative watercolor sketchbook with my brand new acrylic paints, because I just got a bunch of art supplies. The interesting thing about this sketchbook is that it's specifically designed to be painted on, which was one of the reasons why I decided to buy it, despite me never really having an urge to customize my sketchbooks before. I have done it once for a homemade sketchbook. It had a kind of cardboardy material cover. It's not the best surface for painting on, that's for sure, but you know, it's this boring gray brown color, so it felt like it needed a little bit of help. So I actually somehow dared to put a little illustration on it, which was quite a feat at the time, because this was before the whole start of the era of me actually trying to do illustrations, and they terrified me. They still terrify me, but slightly less now. But you know, that was so long ago, and it was such a spur of the moment thing that it kind of feels like this painting is actually the first time I'm doing this kind of thing at all. I almost completely forgot about the homemade sketchbook. This piece here is actually oddly tied to the topic for today, because it's kind of what made me realize that I needed to change my resolutions. I guess I should explain what my resolutions were. The biggest one was just that I wanted to make bigger and better art. And I know that sounds incredibly vague, but I had a pretty clear idea of what that was in my head. Larger, obviously, but also more ambitious, more color and composition and concept planning. And yes, I was doing a lot of that planning thing in 2018, but I really wanted to focus on it this year and do that in larger scale pieces. And so that is what I set out to do this year. And then I ordered a bunch of art supplies. 2 sketchbooks, these acrylic paints, watercolor paints, and water-soluble graphite. And if you're anything like me, when you get new art supplies, you have to immediately try them on at least 5 different projects all at the same time. And so that is what I did. And surprisingly, it took away time from this bigger, better thing. Because not only were these pieces in these pretty small sketchbooks, but they were also just based off reference photos, nothing extra special that I designed, so they didn't really fit into my goals, and it made me feel a little bit guilty, because I think it was mid to late January, so it felt like, oh, we're already in January and we're just letting go. But I was like, you know what? I'm motivated to do these now. I'm not going to be motivated to do them forever. I'm just going to use this to my advantage now and not make myself feel guilty over it, because we have the whole year to do the bigger and better thing. We don't need to do it 24/7. But as I was working on these, I noticed something, because I was also working on one bigger piece at the time. A commission, actually. It wasn't more planned out or anything. I was just following a reference photo, and comparing the two together, I noticed that I was having a lot more fun with the smaller pieces, and I knew it wasn't just because I was trying new art supplies. And in a sense, I saw it coming. I just didn't really want it to happen. You see, I've always had this problem with finishing projects. Short projects, I can do because I'm motivated to start it, and then I use that motivation to the end, then I have it finished. It's a good feeling. I can move on to the next one. With just as much motivation. Long projects, that motivation just, it goes up and then it goes straight down. And I never finished the project. And shockingly, larger paintings take me longer than smaller ones. Ooh, who would have thought? So what was happening to me essentially was that I was quickly losing interest in the larger painting because it was taking me a lot longer. It definitely did not help that it was in oils. And so I was like, oh bother. And it's not just the length either. There's something about painting on a larger canvas that I just find more awkward, I guess. And it's kind of inconvenient. And I don't know, I think those things I could get used to over time, but I just don't enjoy painting on larger canvases as much. I have mixed feelings about this. Part of me is kind of sad because, you know, I see a lot of artists, they do these massive canvases and it looks like they're having so much fun and it seems so cool, you know? I kind of wish I could find it as fun as they seem to find it. At the same time, I'm like, you know, meh, I like my smaller pieces, so there's no point in crying over it, right? You know, I don't think it's bad that my goals have changed. I don't know why I sometimes feel so stuck to my goals. It's a good thing to have dedication. It's a good thing to try to get over road bumps and get where you want to. But if you realize you don't actually want to go where you thought you did, there's no point making yourself feel bad over it. So whatever. I'm just gonna be one of those people that just doesn't stick to their resolutions, and it will be fine. I am gonna stick to the second half of that resolution though, making better art. And I think it actually kind of makes more sense in a way. It's easier to get better at something if you can do a lot of projects in a short amount of time, because you just learn a lot quicker. So if I want to get better at composition, I need to do as many compositions as I can. I don't want to fall into the trap of doing the weekly drawing thing again. I did this challenge for 2 years, and eventually it just kind of held me back because of the deadline. I'd finished drawings in like 2 days or so. I don't want to do that. I do want to put more thought. I don't want to rush it, but I do want to make as much work as I can without, you know, holding myself back. You know, I don't know exactly what this is going to look like. Maybe I'm going to do slightly bigger pieces than my average artwork has been so far. I don't really know. Maybe I'm going to do really big pieces from time to time, but, you know, I'm not going to push it. I'm not. So, yay! I still don't really know what I'm doing, but I have a slightly better idea of what I'm not doing, so it's progress. And I'm excited. I'm excited for the future. Woo! Thank you for listening to my far too long rambling. Please like and subscribe. I really enjoy reading all your guys' comments. And I will see you sometime. Goodbye!